15 all. $30-15. Late for serve.
Well, plenty of spring in Siemerink's step here. He really made good ground. A big lunge and not a bad play, just going straight back at rusedski. Didn't have the quick enough hands to get that back. Not many people would have.
Game. Second set, Siemerink.
There's the set. Siemerink. Set taking just 40 minutes.
Well, Chris, you'd have to say that really, I think Greg's pretty fortunate. If he can pick his game up at all, he's lucky not to be down 2 sets to love.
Hold on.
$15 love.
Well, this is almost like something you'd see in a doubles point that the Woodies are involved in. Very hard when the ball's down low to do much with it, so you can see both players trying to fake the other one out. And in the end, rusedski wisely with time going down the line to finish it off.
$30 love. $40 love.
Well, still not too much zip on the serve. I think you can guarantee that rusedski will be in this right to the end.
Game. Rusedski.
Hold to love
game,
for
set.
rusedski. And 1 set all. And 1 love to the British #1. Third set.
Rusedski did pick up his first serve percentage, but it was the unforced errors that got him into a bit of trouble. So lucky enough to pick up a break. Both players have generated a reasonable amount of break points. Greg, in fact, has had 7. Siemerink 3. They've both broken a couple of times, and there we are at a set apiece. So not a lot in it. You would have to say, Chris, that both men are capable of much better tennis. Both of them really struggling a little bit for form. And then maybe part of that is that they both play the type of game that is very hard to get a rhythm against. So here you have 2 players that are a little bit sporadic off the ground. They serve well, so it's hard to get into a routine in your returning games. So in some respects, maybe putting each other off.
Thank you. You can take your seats at the back of the court. Thank you. Can you please sit down at the back of the court? $15 love. $30 love.
when Greg hits his backhand sometimes, a lot of the time it's inside out. He leads with the wrist, and the racket head never ever catches up with the wrist. And the ball almost travels the opposite way that it should, inside out.
Just you were talking about that.
13-15.
Pops up with a fine shot, rusedski.
Well, there's the key. See, have a look how the wrist comes through the ball. Rolls over it. Put the ball, make the ball go where you want it to go. Don't try to steer it.
All.
Well, Jan Siemerink really has stabbed at a lot of those high volleys with not much pace on them. And strangely enough, when Patrick Rafter played Isham Arazi in the first round, Arazi must have floated 20 high balls to Rafter, who's a spectacular volley, and he missed them too. It's like in this day and age, players are so used to the ball being belted at them, when they see that sort of stuff, call it junk, they struggle. I'm not really sure what the reason is for it, but Siemerink has really snatched a lot of high volleys today.
Missed it.
14.
Now then, here's a real chance for rusedski to get an early break in this set. He's not been good at taking these type of chances, Greg.
Juice.
Well, going with the percentages, floating it high to Siemerink and hoping for an error, but no, it was a good first serve from Siemerink. He closed well. Not a lot you can do about that. Maybe that comes down to picking a side, just having a bit of a guess on break point. One thing Greg never does, he never changes his receiving stance.
Advantage Siemerink.
There's nothing to stop him moving 6 feet behind the baseline and jumping around like a madman and looking for a forehand. I don't want to harp on about it, but you've got to keep trying different things. And there's a lot of different things he could do on return. Change where he stands, try to strengthen the backhand grip.
Game Siemerink.
Not much he could do about that though, and Siemerink steadies the ship with an ace.
Yeah, second ace for Siemerink in the match, first in this set. Another chance for rusedski goes by.
Love 15. Love 13.
Good defensive lob here from Jan Siemerink. You could see that rusedski was contemplating smashing it and made a hash of the backhand.
Fifteen, 13.
Just going through a patch in this match. He really is struggling at the moment. Greg needs to fight his way out of this game.
All.
Yeah, if there's one thing I think, Wally, that will keep him in this match, it is his desire. His desire to do well. The fight that even if he's not playing great, he will fight to the bitter end.
30-40.
I think what made Stefan Edberg such a great volleyer was the way he moved. You could just see Greg snatching a little bit of that volley, but Edberg had a great ability to run through every volley. He volleyed like that was going to be the last volley. It was not going to come back, and he really committed himself to the ball. And I think out here today, both these players at times have stopped, waited, and snatched at the ball rather than really running through it, being very confident and very committed.
I'm not sure whether rusedski left that one or whether it was just out of his reach. It was very close. It's a good serve.
Advantage Rusedski. Game Rusedski.
Well done, Greg. It's a good hold. Despite the break point, and he leads 2-1. Third set, 1 set all.
2-1.
Well, a set all and 2-1 to Greg Rusedski. You still couldn't pick who was going to go through this one.
No, very much a seesawing battle. Players have struggled a bit with the conditions. Pretty swirly out there. Doesn't look it particularly, but I can guarantee you it is. At court level, wind very breezy. We've had a few of our spies down there courtside, just keeping us abreast of the conditions. They say it is pretty swirly. At one stage there, it was very difficult with shadow coming across the court and the light fading and the artificial light coming on. No one has really settled in comfortably. Nice little drop volley, but the movement there just a bit laboured. And this is what I think we're seeing. A slightly jaded Greg Rusedski here.
30 love.
None of the fire, and as Chris said earlier, he looks tired in his eyes and in his face. There's not the excitement that was there the other day when he played Ullarak. Of course, when you do play tennis, it's not only the physical energy you expend, but the mental energy.
30-15.
Throughout matches, you go up, you go down as the match gets tight, you get big surges of adrenaline, and it's a real roller coaster emotionally, and you can come off a match feeling pretty drained, particularly a 5-set match, and that adds to the way you feel the next day. It's tough playing with pressure.
It's good play from Rusedski, getting over a couple of backhands. Siemerink stretch. Just starting to sniff a break, Rusedski.
Well, once again, Siemerink really closing after 2 volleys. And a great lob too over the backhand side. Siemerink really had to cover some ground to get there.
(40-30).
Well, he was a bit unlucky there, Greg. He actually knifed that return. There was something on it. He really stuck it. The ball was flying through the air and just caught the tape. That would have been a nasty return had it gone over.
Close.
Siemerink